Oh, what wild animal. My avatar had a monkey at all times with him at one point until he mysteriously disappeared. He disappeared.
Dramatic entry! G'day everyone, I'm Jazza's monkey, and I haven't disappeared. I'm still around, and I'm more animated than ever. It only took 2 hours to put me together for easy animation, and in the next 10 minutes or so, you're gonna find out how. And I'll be busy too, practicing my maracas.
Hi everyone, I'm Joel. In one of Jazza's recent videos, he contracted several animators on Fiverr. The results were varied, to say the least, and with regards to value for money, it was certainly a hit or miss. And personally, I thought it was often a miss. So I thought I'd show you some of the ways that we can use to create tidy animations in a reasonably short time. Today, I'm using a commercial program called Moho Pro. There are also many free applications that can do pretty much the same thing. I'll be using a more elaborate form of cutout animation, basically a digital puppet. In this technique, you first draw the character and then define some controls or bones, and then you use them to make your animations. As I draw the head, I'm adjusting the position of the eyes, nose, ears, and so on. This is so that I can create a more neutral pose before we start rigging. Notice that once I'd finished the first eye, I'd copied it over to the other side. This helps with the symmetrical features, but it also saves time. The first time that I saw this monkey was in Jazza's keyframe tutorial from ages ago. Videos like that taught me a lot and inspired me to experiment with animation. So I'm slowly making my way around, redrawing the character in vector form. Jazza's tutorials on character design and anatomy were especially helpful for me. You can see that Jazza's monkey has line art. I wanted to add a bit of my own style, so today we're gonna go with outlines. That is, without outlines. If you're working with others, it's important to follow their instructions, but there are creative ways of putting your own unique take on a project. I remember for my 13th birthday, I got Jazza's limited edition t-shirt with his avatar and of course the monkey. I wore it a lot. I'm 15 now and have likely grown out of it. When I wore it, people would walk up to me saying, "Oh, you know Jazza too." It was a great way to start conversations about art and creativity. A little update on that, I just tried on my Jazza t-shirt and amazingly, it still fits. Here I start adding bones. For each bone, I set the area of the character that it will control. Hands are reasonably complex, with lots of bones, even in real life, so I put all the bones for the hands on their own layer. For the feet, I use a technique called inverse kinematics. Essentially, the legs will point towards a control bone. This is useful when the feet should stay still, but the body should move. For example, here I have the monkey squatting. So many aspects of the artistic world has been demonstrated over on Jazza's channel, and I love the fact that not only has it helped to shape my life, but so many others as well. To make a mouth that is easy to lip sync, I make a new layer for every mouth shape. For this, I bring in a pre-existing mouth as a reference, so I don't miss any. In English, we use around 10 shapes to represent 44 different sounds, or phonemes. I then group them inside a switch layer. This allows me to switch between the different shapes easily when lip syncing. These layers can also be interpolated for a smoother transition, but in this animation, I went for a cartoonishly snappy look, so I leave this option turned off. It was channels like Jazza's that made me interested in all the different forms of animation. I started off in stop motion with just toys and Play-Doh. I've always loved to draw, so this led to digital frame-by-frame animation, and I quickly moved on to this style of 2D rigged animation. But more recently, I've been teaching myself 3D modeling and animation. Here I'm using a really neat tool called Sketch. This makes animating, say, a tail very easy. All you have to do is draw the line and the bones will move to fit the stroke. Some animation software allow you to make actions that you can control and reuse when animating. Here we call them smart bones. Essentially, I animate lots of different actions, like a head turning, blinking eyes, smiling, and so on, each separate from the others, and then when animating a scene, I can simply mix them together using controls. Because of the way that I set up the mouth, when animating a smile or frown action, I needed to go through every mouth shape to ensure that it looks good with either emotion, happy and sad. It didn't take too long, and it saves lots of time when animating or lip syncing later. What I love about Jazza's channel is the fact that he's done tutorials, demonstrations, challenges, and competitions where they're all feeling connected. I especially love the competitions. Though his channel has grown to a point that judging a competition each month is logistically complicated, the past competitions inspired me to enter others like it. So over the past 2 years, I've been fortunate enough to win lots of prizes for some of my animations. I would definitely encourage any of you to look at entering competitions that match your creativity. You'll be amazed how fast you improve. Competitions with set deadlines help you push yourself to develop your abilities, and before you know it, you'll find that you've grown quite the portfolio of creativity. Here I'm using the smart bones to give a 3D effect to the foot. I use this technique with the head turn as well. To enable our monkey to look left and right, I again create a reusable action. I have to shift the face, hair, and ears to create the illusion of a 3D head turn. And then I use the control bone to scrub through the head turn animation when needed. I'm now making an up and down head tilt action in a similar way to the left and right head turn, and I test combining it with the left and right control. When mixing actions, there are always limitations on how they will react at the extremes, but I'm happy with how they can combine. I now start on the body turn using the same process as I did with the head. An important thing to note is that I keep the head turn and body turn as separate actions. This allows me to face the body and the head in independent directions. With this rig, the body and the head only turn 180 degrees. This means the character will always face towards us. But if I intended to use this character more, I would create a back-facing version and switch between them when needed. Once we have finished the rigging, our character is ready to be tested. I do this by creating a test animation to understand where the limits are. So to make sure that the rig is working as it should, I go ahead and animate Jazza's iconic maraca shaking action. Now of course, there are pros and cons to this type of animation. The time spent on a rig should be relative to how much you think you'll need to animate it. If you're going to use it every day for a year, a more elaborate rig will help you save time in the long run. But if it's a one-off thing, try and keep the features to a minimum. As you can see, with a bit of practice, you can quickly create a dynamic, reusable, digital puppet that can simplify animation if you're on a tight schedule. I hope you enjoyed this process of animation. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you around.